But let's go back to the kind of foundations of software engineering. You studied computer science, I studied computer science in the 90s, and I suspect computer science curriculum in most universities has not changed significantly. Maybe there is a course on machine learning now, but how useful is learning about traditional computer science? Same courses on computer architecture and databases and compilers and algorithms. Does anyone need to study those anymore?
Yeah, I mean, I think the stuff that we learned in the 90s, frankly, I think that has many of those things are not being needed for around 10 years now, right? So I used to learn assembly language, for example. I don't think anyone learns assembly language. And I used to, we had a course where you actually had to build a computer from scratch, including the chips and the ALU and all of that, right? That has not been the case for a long time because we have built higher levels of abstraction, and then we can model the computer in a certain way, and then programming languages take all that complexity away from you. I suspect that the computer science curriculum has to change to come to even higher levels of abstraction, right? What is when all of this gets abstracted away, what remains is the question that we should ask, right? And there are certain things that I think will always remain. Like, what is the interface that I want from between humans and agents to agents? So API design and interface design, I think, will always remain an important area. Same thing with memory. I think memory and who knows what is not just a computer science thing, it's a sociological thing, right? And we can get into the theory of mind, but I think that same concept is applied here. We just need to model about this agent or this AI is allowed to know X. This other thing is allowed to know Y. And then if I know X and you know Y, then how can we collaborate, right? This is what happens in humans, right? The reason we are having this conversation is because, you know X and I know Y, and we want to kind of figure out what we can, create in this conversation. And same thing happens, I think, with AI, irrespective of how knowledgeable it gets. So being able to design with these constraints, I think, is a software engineering concept that I think will still be important for people to learn.
Jesse, I'm asking this follow-up question on the behalf of someone who is 18 or 20-year-old, just entered college. You went to IIT Kharagpur, I went to IIT Kanpur. These days, all the top 100 rankers go to IIT Bombay. So you're just joining IIT Bombay. You got a great rank. You have got computer science. What should you study? And I don't think IIT Bombay is changing their courses fast enough. I suspect 90% is probably very similar to what we studied. So seems like a huge mismatch.
Yeah, there is a huge mismatch because I think that the pace of innovation is far outstripping the pace at which education and curriculum pedagogy is actually changing, right? But I think people can self-learn, and I think most smart people today, they learn the fundamentals from whatever the teachers and universities are teaching. But in order for you to be abreast of what's happening in this world, I think a lot of self-learning is needed. And the good thing is that a lot of self-learning mechanisms are available today, whether it's YouTube or something else. So the areas that they should learn, I think, is a more interesting question, right? I think obviously they should learn about the fundamentals of mathematics, statistics, and so on, because I think that will still remain. And if I look at new fields that people should learn about, they should learn about probabilistic reasoning and so on. But I think another interesting area they should learn about is sociology, right? Because previously we used to use math and computer science and all of that to model the hard sciences. And what is now changing is that the soft sciences are getting modelable, right? And if you can combine what AI can do with all the softer sciences, and the reason I say either psychology or sociology is because what I think will remain is how people work together. And that, I think, is not solved.
Yeah, I think your current comment is reminding me of something, very interesting, which happened in my first year in college. I don't know, I was very prescient maybe at the time, but I didn't take a sociology course in my first semester. Or I don't know why. But that teacher was very particular and wanted a lot of class participation in English. And I was from Haridwar, first semester in college. I couldn't speak English to save my life. So I did not participate and got a C in that course. And all my, aspiration of maintaining a 10 point and all that, went for a toss. So sometimes taking sociology can go wrong. But I agree with you. I think overall emphasis on humanities.
Yes. Yeah.
Probably, do you think, out of these colleges should consider a quarter of their courses in humanities now?
Yes, I absolutely should would vouch for that, right? I think the new innovations will have to be in terms of how do people work together? How do you operate in silos of knowledge? And how do you model how people think? Because these are all unsolved problems. Like, for example, with AI, one of the key problems that hasn't been solved is how do you give the right personality to AI, right? How does a AI show empathy, right? This is a psychology and a sociology problem, right? And you have to be able to compare that up. And how do you model that inside a model, whether it's a language model or a world model or any kind of AI? If we have humanoid robots and so on, these becomes extremely important problems to solve.
At SparX, we aim to bring to you stories of exponential impact. We share in-depth analysis of what goes behind success stories. If you find our conversations interesting, you can join us by subscribing to our YouTube channel. You can also listen to SparX on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or any other audio platform of your choice. If you have any suggestions on who we should invite or what topics we need to cover, just let us know in the comments. We are always listening, looking for ways to improve, and keep getting better as we go along.